Let's begin!
The main aim of Separation is to find all the sorrows that are located around a massive tower. Doing this will help an entity that is trapped inside. These sorrows are found in figures that are placed in certain locations which are open to interpretation, and although the figures don't show any facial emotion, their body postures more than make up for it. When you interact with one, you are greeted with an impressive particle effect and are then left with a crystal that shoots off to the central tower. There is only snap turning in the game, and you interact with things by either pressing or holding down square. The dot in the centre of your view shows you exactly what you're gazing at, but rather than it being in a fixed position, it actually travels over the environment. A light emits from it too, which makes the environment stand out with shadows, and when it's hovered over water, it makes it sparkle. The game does include some puzzle solving, such as moving an object to a certain position, and some have you lighting up every panel on a board. Sometimes the interaction did mess up on certain objects though, and one time I had to reload a previous save. When this happened, I wasn't sure if I was missing a puzzle element or if the game had bugged out. The game had in fact bugged, so I wasted quite a while aimlessly searching around the area. When something doesn't work properly in a game, like it should, it's far more annoying in a puzzle game than any other. The game doesn't hold your hand at all, and although there isn't too many actual gameplay elements to confuse the player with, it's still quite easy to get stuck from time to time, due to the sneaky placements of some of the interactable objects. They can be quite well hidden, and some don't even appear like they can be interacted with. When this happens, the game can become quite tedious to hunt out the next interactable object. Luckily, you can increase the walking speed, although because of the sheer size of the location, it can still be a very long trek. Aiding you slightly in the search are crystals that need to be linked up to one another. When one isn't lit up, you know roughly that you're in the right area to solve the next puzzle. As well as walking, you do eventually unlock other methods of travel too, such as a boat and a hot air balloon. Both are steered with your gaze, which is a bit unfortunate, especially when sitting in the boat, as you really want to look at the sights all around you. But if you do, you will obviously steer the boat in that direction. It would have been better to have them steered with the analog stick. So far, I have mentioned mostly only negatives, but the game does do something very well, and that is its art direction. Sand and dust blows across the top of the ground, and water reflects off of stones that are found on ceilings of a cave. And the sense of discovery here is very impressive, like when you finally unlock a new path, turn a corner, and then are greeted with a brilliant vista. These moments are really elevated too, thanks to the music that kicks in. This sense of wonder and slight excitement of coming across something new starts to die down though, as the music leaves and you're left with only the sounds of your footsteps. The thudding of only your feet on wood, or them pressing down into the sand, does go a long way in making you feel incredibly isolated. Which is obviously what the game is going for, but considering the world's size and lack of an in-depth storyline that pushes you forward, it demands for the player to be incredibly patient to view its next bleak yet stunning view. A day and night cycle also makes an appearance, which does help to give each area a slightly different feeling depending on the time. The game does have a nice and easy trophy list, but unfortunately it doesn't include a platinum. Most of them will unlock after beating the game, but then there is one which I think is tied to the day and night cycle, which will likely require you to wait and be patient. Although there is quite a bit of puzzle solving in this game, I couldn't help but think at times that I was visiting an outside museum. Some of the sites certainly give off the effect that they are exhibits waiting to be marvelled at, and this is what the game gets right. I feel the main issue here though is that sometimes the art direction interferes with how the landscape should really do its best to guide the player to their next objective. The layout wants to show you a painting rather than use it as a subliminal navigational tool. It took me quite a while to get through this one, as it wasn't something I wanted to keep jumping back into, but it wasn't because of the tone, it was due to design choices. I do enjoy the occasional walking simulator, but they do need to keep the player engaged throughout. Impressive art can only entertain a player for so long in such a large world with slow movement speed. This game does have some amazing views, but you're going to have to be a patient gamer to see them, and you may want to wait for some bug fixes from a patch. As always, if you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PSVR content.